Hello, all. How are you? This is my first Tarot Live here on Tarot for Light, and it's super exciting to be doing this. It's late, it's very cozy here in my studio, and I thought it would be good to check in with everybody about this upcoming new moon in. Scorpio tomorrow. So we're just going to read. We're going to take the tarot cards. We're going to do a live reading um, to help us to understand how we can best harness the energy of this new moon in Scorpio and what newness we should be ready to embrace and how we can do that. So please feel free, if you're watching, to jump in also, and I will be accepting questions. So, sorry, here we go. Let's focus in the energy. What newness can we embrace? Okay, here we go. So, in this reading, what newness can we embrace to help us fully change and have newness in this new moon? So, new moon in Scorpio. So, let's take a look. At the center, we have the Hermit, which comes up again and again. And I think what the power of the Hermit is that it's just this wonderful card, which basically tells us that we need to be authentically ourselves. And not only do we need to be authentically ourselves, but we need to embrace ourselves and our truths, and that we can't actually do that unless we take some time to look inwards and to explore what is actually at our core. And we need time to do that: meditation, separation, but also just not going with the flow, not doing what others do, doing things your own way. So we have to embrace that. We have to embrace that kind of newness. So embrace at the core of this season in newness some time to be introspective, some time to get in touch with ourselves, and some time to look into what we authentically are. And I think it's time for us to make a choice. It's time for us to not be idle. It's time for us to not be paralyzed by two different options, by two different ideas. We keep protecting ourselves from making choices because we don't want to fail. We don't want to be criticized for having done the wrong thing. So we need to throw all that doubt out the window and make a choice and move towards something that we want. That is clear. And then interestingly, what I love about what's pushing us forward in this moment is the Ace of Wands and the Lovers, which is such, look at this, this is such fertile energy. When I'm looking this, it's sexual, it's fertile, but it's also just that action, it's action-based. The Lovers is this coming together, this gravity pulling together lovers, pulling together connection, moving towards things that are in orbit and destined to be together, but also making the right choices, the adult choices, the mature choices, to foster in environments that support that kind of collaboration, that kind of connection. It's not magical. It doesn't just happen on its own. You need to you need to be fertile. You need to fertilize the ground. That's what I'm trying to say. You need to make sure that all the right things are there to support growth. And then this Ace of Wands is saying that the ability to grow and create and start now is abundant. You are so fertile. So we're being told from the universe that we need to just trust our intuition and push forward. We need to push forward with action. We need to trust in the potential. We need to fertilize the soil and do so with the intention of creating fertile ground so that we have somewhere to grow. So that is what we're doing and where we're going, but it all starts with our choice and our action. So we need to make choices between that. Now, the other thing is, at the head of this, there's a bit of learning that needs to happen. We need to embrace the power of learning. We need to embrace the power of divine knowledge. It's not just us. The Hierophant tells us that we have the power to connect, and in doing so, to teach and to bring wisdom down. But this also speaks of like, what is your wisdom? What's the tradition of your wisdom? You don't need to necessarily do things the way other people do them. You can do it your way, but you also have to understand that doing it your way is you need to be responsible for that wisdom. And you have the wisdom. Your tradition doesn't have to be taught. It can be something you build, but it has to be built on your wisdom. So right now is a time to delve into wisdom in meditation, in learning, and really sift through that wisdom and think about, what do I need to learn? Are there new skills, or what do I need to be teaching people potentially in order to get me where I need to go? So embrace that. And the sister to that is also to have a good time, the Three of Cups. So part of what's important for us to know is that it's not just teaching. It's not just the teaching and learning, but it's making sure that we have fun doing it with the right kind of people right now. We need to get with our sisters. We need to celebrate the coven. We need to find the people that we work with best. And they don't have to be people that you're working with, but they have to be the people that bring you life, that fill your cup. People that literally don't leave you feeling depleted. You need to gravitate towards those people, and you need to find those people, and you need to hold on to those people, and you need to tell them what's going on, and you need to celebrate with them, and you need to learn with them, and you need to trust them in this season. So this season really is about you and tilling the ground and tilling the soil to get what you want and to grow something authentic through your choices, because being a little bit stuck. But what it is saying is, support the people that fulfill you, support the people that don't wear you out. And where it's leading us is to the entering into flow with life, not being so heavily burdened, letting go of the survivor's complex. So it's being a little less root chakra orientated, a little less survivor orientated, a little more able to elevate yourself to a position of not feeling so drawn down. And it's also here the King of Pentacles, which is this absolutely beautiful card of abundant manifestation. So right now it's saying that this is leading us to a release of our burdens, and we're going to get exactly what we want. So guys, as we're embracing the newness of this eclipse season and the new moon in Scorpio, the message continues to be that we really need to embrace ourselves for who we are. We need to give ourselves time to explore who we are authentically. We need to make choices and not be afraid of the risks associated with those choices. We need to prepare the ground and trust that we're being thrown towards connections that work for us, and the time for potential to act right now is huge. But we also need to do that from a position of our inner wisdom and trust in the people, and be surrounded by the people that really do fulfill you. And the last and final card is that it's a little bit of a warning, but it's telling us two things. It's telling us that the action is now. We are going to move quite quickly, and we are going to want to move from the mind. It's that Knight of Swords energy. Now, part of this is interesting because the Knight of Swords wants to convince people. He wants to convince people. So at the time right now, what's coming through for me is that you need to do the work convincing yourself. You need to do the mental work convincing yourself that you're valid, what you want is valid, where you're heading is valid, and the choices you want to make are valid. So you need to convince yourself of that. You need to convince yourself of your power, of your potential, and of the fact that you have abundance waiting for you, and you have connection. So right now, that's the power of that. You need to really trust the power of that, and you need to really trust the abundant nature you have and the fact that you are deserving. But you need to do some work right now convincing yourself of that. Because if you can convince yourself that you're worthy, then you are going to be already so much stronger and so much more able than you are today. And we could all do that just one step at a time. Don't rush in unnecessarily, but rush into convincing yourself that you deserve this. It's time to tell yourself that every day, I deserve this, I am worthy, I can do this, I can be fresh, I can be new, and I know what I want. So thank you for that, and enjoy. I hope you've all gotten something out of this. Please feel free to comment, and we'll be back for more lives very shortly.